Ladies and gentlemen, the Trump police state has begun. We are no longer in the hypothetical part of the timeline. We are in the right now part of the timeline. It's not tanks rolling down the streets yet, although they will be for Trump's birthday parade. It's ICE raids at Home Depot, protesters called insurrectionists, National Guard troops patrolling Los Angeles like it's Fallujah, and threats of Marines being deployed as well. Robert Reich published a terrifying but very important piece in The Guardian that we are linking to that we need to take very seriously, where everything he describes, every step in the authoritarian playbook, is really happening right now under Donald Trump. And it is a movie that we have seen before, and that's one of the scariest parts of this. When Mussolini wanted to consolidate power, he called protesters terrorists and sent black shirts to restore order. When Adolf Hitler needed an excuse to suspend democracy, we had the Reichstag fire blamed on his political enemies. When Pinochet took power in Chile, he rounded up dissidents and filled stadiums with prisoners, and they all claimed to be protecting the country. They all said it was temporary, and they all said it's for our safety. We should say thank you, please give us more. And what we now have is Donald Trump declaring that anyone who protests immigration raids is committing a form of rebellion against the government. And his top advisor, Stephen Miller, says it's an insurrection. His defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, threatens to bring in the Marines to crush it. So this is not immigration enforcement. We are many degrees separated from that. It's political theater to justify a crackdown, baiting the public into reacting so he can invoke more emergency powers and push the country even further into authoritarianism and a police state. And the rest of the system, I am disappointed to say, is falling in line. We've got the press under assault. ABC's Terry Moran has been suspended for a mild criticism of Trump on Twitter. If journalists are getting punished for telling the truth, you know press freedom is over. And this is what autocrats do. They don't just silence dissent. They make an example of people who dare to speak. They said he should be fired. For now, he's been suspended. Courts are being ignored, right? ICE is just abducting people outside courthouses, even those whose cases were thrown out. And the rule of law means nothing if force can be used to sidestep it, and that's what's happening. Universities are being purged with vanishing academic freedom. Teaching history, race, and inequality is labeled radical. It gets banned. It gets defunded if you do it. This is what they've done in Turkey, in Hungary, in Russia. Universities, then you go to unions, then you go to the political opposition. And then big picture, a lot of corporate America has completely surrendered. DEI programs gone from many companies. They weren't forced to end them. They chose to. And that is another part of how fascism sometimes wins, which is through fear and cowardice and forcing self-censorship, not necessarily with the law, although sometimes it is with the law. And now we get to one of the sadly most common and terrifying characteristics, federal forces being used against civilians. Raids, rubber bullets, tear gas, flashbangs, flash grenades, I think they're called, criminalization of dissent. And so at this point in time, it seems as though we are one contrived, manufactured crisis away from martial law. So we are no longer in the warning phase. We are in the red alert phase. We're not waiting for fascism. We are starting to see it. And we're going to be deeper in it if we pretend that this is normal, or if we act as if this is quickly reversible or something we can later vote our way out of. So what do you do if you're an ordinary person who sees this and feels horrified? We'll get an answer from a member of the House later, but I'll give you my opinion. Number one, talk about it. Loudly, publicly, share it, make noise. Don't let anyone in your life normalize it. That includes on social media. Number two, show up. Join peaceful protests. Support groups that are organizing for immigrant rights and press freedom and civil liberties and the rule of law. Protect each other. We can do a lot in our communities. If you are in a position where you can use your status to shield more vulnerable people, be they immigrants, students, workers, whoever, Speak up when others can't. And then push back. Demand that, you might not be able to convince Trump, but maybe in your workplace you can have an impact. Maybe in your school that you attend or maybe teach at, your church, your community group. Tell them we need to take a stand. This is not a time to be neutral. So, of course, we vote, but we organize, we fund, we mobilize, we speak while understanding that you don't need to risk arrest. If you're a parent, you don't need to risk being taken away from your children that need you. I'm not here saying put yourselves in harm's way that will damage and hurt yourself and your family. That's not what I'm saying. But we do need to make a decision. Are you going to look away and hope that this passes? Or will you join it's believed that when 3.5% of the population activates, tyranny and authoritarianism can be stopped. That's what we need to really think about and understand. And sometimes authoritarianism comes in draped in a flag, carrying a Bible, walking around with rubber bullets, pointing at illegals and saying, we're here for your protection. Oftentimes, this is how authoritarianism and fascism present themselves. They seem to be here. And if you need any greater proof that they just don't give a damn about the law, look at what the Speaker of the House said yesterday. Are you planning any exciting trips? I've got a couple lined up, and one thing that I've learned is that being able to speak even a little bit of the local language can make a huge difference, both for your experience and how you interact with locals. And that is why I use Babbel. Babbel is the language learning app that gets you talking quickly. It has 10-minute lessons crafted by over 200 language experts. They're really built around real-world conversations, the things you would actually say when traveling, ordering food, asking for directions, chatting with locals. No gimmicks, no fluff, just practical language skills. And the best part is that you can start speaking in just a few weeks. I've used Babbel to help me get ready for trips abroad. It does a great job. I just arrive with a little confidence that I can navigate a new place with some basics without having to pull my phone out every 5 seconds. Babbel also has advanced speech recognition, which helps to fine-tune your accent as you go. It's like having a tutor in your pocket. And Babbel is giving my audience 60% off subscriptions at babbel.com/Pacman. The link is in the podcast notes. Rules and restrictions may apply.